Welcome back to Fit 2020. I hope you're having an excellent Fit Day too. For this session, we'll be talking about the Ministry of Education, Youth and Information's regional offices. Now, my name is Aishiva Cornwall. I am a social advocate for youth empowerment. I am the past public relations officer for the Region 1 for the National Secondary Students Council and also a student at the University of the West Indies, UWI, Mona, studying integrated marketing communications. I will be your host for this session, and I'll be joined later by Tomoy Campbell, who is also a past public relations officer for the NSSC and also a law student at UWI Mona. Now, did you know that the Ministry of Education, Youth and Information has 7 regional offices all across Jamaica? Do you know where they are located? Do you know what they do? How many schools? What do they do there? Well, today we're going to learn a whole lot more, and we'll be visiting all 7 regions. Now, the Fit Day 2 theme is innovation at its best. And we'll be talking about the regional teams. We'll be talking to the regional teams via Zoom to discover the exciting, innovative, and best practices that each region will be doing in their region. Now, as a humanities student, I think this is an excellent thing that the Ministry of Education, Youth and Information is doing, because in a time like COVID-19, we need to adjust to what is going on now. Thank you for joining us on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, boy, JTC, they're everywhere, but thank you for tuning in. If you want to give us any feedback, if you want to talk to us, you can do so because our regional officers are there in the chat to help you. Now let us join Region 1 on Zoom right now. With us is Regional Director Mrs. Dasmin Kennedy and her team. Welcome, Mrs. Kennedy.
Thank you. Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you so much for joining us. So could you tell us which team members are here with you now and tell us about innovations at its best in Region 1?
Okay, great. So on set with me are 3 of my illustrious team members. So there is Mrs. Suzanne Bloomfield. She is a senior education officer with responsibility for primary education. And Mrs. Sharon Smith-White, she is a senior secondary education officer in the region. And we are privileged to have Dr. Warren Hibbert, one of our principals, who will be sharing in this journey. We also have on set in the background, Mrs. Lisa Robinson will also be participating in this session as per required. Innovation in Region 1 is a hallmark for the region. As you are aware, we go by the theme, epitome of excellence. So today we'll be taking you on a virtual journey to enable you to view some of the very interesting things that we have on display. So you'll be seeing furniture making display coming out of one of our high schools. You will also be seeing capacity building and human capacity development coming out of one of our schools, Vauxhall High School, where we have our football team for the boys and the girls engaged in a construction project. As well, one of our special schools, Danny Williams School for the Deaf, you'll be seeing special needs students and teachers signing for us, demonstrating about their social distancing protocol as obtained under the COVID regime. And we'll also be taking you into the literacy space where you can see literacy development at its best at the Tivoli Gardens High School. Next is another special education initiative coming out of Chetola Park. We believe in inclusive education. We believe that all our students are very much special. And the creative that they bring to the fore, the human element that they bring to the fore is always amazing. And as such, we are excited to be putting them on show today. There's also the community blackboard coming out of Yunnan Gardens Infant. And we are also showcasing our QEC model as well as robotics from JC and Dunham Park Technical High School. So these are some of the initiatives that we have on display today, and we are prepared now to just take you on the journey as soon as you are ready.
Welcome to Region 1, the epitome of excellence. I'm Jasmine Kennedy, the Acting Regional Director for this very special region. We'll be taking you on a very special journey of the innovations and best practices produced by this very special entity. Come with us, the journey begins.
There is a story of hope everywhere, even in a community that is more known for self-destruction. Vauxhall High School, founded in 1959, evolved from humble beginnings and has used sports, and particularly football, to foster peace in an often volatile environment.
We are protected by a very high perimeter fence, and so a lot of the violence that might take place in the community does not spill over into school, except that our students live in the community, and so sometimes when there's violence in the community, they are not able to come to school. Sometimes they're not able to come on time.
The football team's success is not only impacting the community, but internally, there are also notable changes.
We are very excited, and there has been a lot of excitement on the compound. So you can imagine that the climate, we're a little happier, we're a little more excited. Our students are turning out a little more for matches. And of course, our boys get the relevant adoration when they're on the compound. We usually recognize them at devotions.
With the climate inside and out at the right temperature, the Vauxhall High School team is cautiously optimistic.
unique in the sense that we were the first to relaunch the quality education circles that exist. We have presently 11 QECs, and these represent the 15 constituencies in Kingston and St. Andrew. Each QEC is convened by an education officer who provides supervisory support and guidance to the infant, secondary, primary, and tertiary schools that exist within the quality education circle.
And we're joined by Tamoy. Tamoy is here. How are you doing?
I'm good, thank you, Ashiba.
What did you think about Region 1's presentation?
Region 1 of a buzz, you
It's
know.
our buzz.
I really love Region 1, and I really liked how they said they were the epitome of excellence
Hey.
because they've been going on, and the thing that caught my attention was that tech challenge that JC did and the emphasis on special needs and education. I think Region 1 them have it. I really did enjoy
I
the presentation.
really love it, for real. So I love the inclusivity you saw with the sign language with the persons from Danny Williams School.
Right.
I really love that. I have a question for you, Mrs. Kennedy. Now, I saw that it said that you have implementation of online learning platforms. So I wanted to know, what platforms do you use, do the teachers in Region 1 use, and how do you ensure that interaction is there with the students and teachers?
Okay, Region 1 is very innovative and creative. So currently we are using several learning management systems. So there's the learning management system that the ministry provides. And then, for example, like our secondary level institutions, they use other systems that they would have procured from the commercial market. We also use Zoom, we use WhatsApp, all the medium media they are integrated in our teaching learning processes in Region 1. So we have extended ourselves beyond to ensure that all our children have quality access to teaching and learning.
That is excellent. Thank you so much for that answer.
No, I also, in the video that I saw students doing furniture making, I thought that was excellent. I think that just being able to use your skills for something, something that is beneficial to other students is excellent.
Absolutely.
So, I really wanted to know, how can other schools get involved? Can other schools get involved?
Well, we have the genius here with us, Dr. Warren Hibbert, and he will speak. But this is one of the innovations that is very impactful in the region, because while the school involves the students, kindly note that the furniture that you see there, they are made by students. And so they are actively involved in project-based learning. And it also serves as an income generating capacity, because we also procure furniture make furniture for our schools right across the regions. So all 7 regions benefit from this initiative. Don't want to steal his thunder. I'm just going to allow him now to speak more about how he has, how he came up with this initiative and how impactful it has been to his school and Jamaica on a large.
Well, thank you, Artie. While the project had a national objective, here at STATS, it was aimed at giving our building and engineering students practical experience in the manufacturing industry. So when we sent a proposal to the ministry and we got approval to make 1,000 desks and chairs, 80% of those who were involved in the production were students. So students were involved in the planning, they were involved in the purchasing of the raw material, they were involved in the production, and they were even involved in the quality assessment that was done by the Bureau of Standards at the finished product. It was in a way a learning while earning experience for our students. So it was good.
That was excellent.
I agree.
What? Can you teach me how to make some furniture? You have anything for the Region 1, Tamoy?
No, I just kind of wish that when I was going to high school, we had projects and initiatives like that. It's really great that we can, as you would have said, kind of merge the earning and the learning part of it, as you would have mentioned, adding your skill set. And I just like the opportunity, the fact that you can do something else, because I really can't do any of those things. I can imagine how impactful this initiative has been on the students of St. Andrew Technical High School. So really good job, Region 1, and really good job, STATS.
Yeah, thank you so much. That's really excellent. So moving on, Region 1.
Yes.
Oh, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, yes.
So you can speak to the QEC operations. That's
Yes.
the opening of Learning Center of Chetola. Is that how it's pronounced?
Yes, it's Chetola Parkville Nathan Education Center, and it's one of our schools that has a special education unit. This unit actually officially opened January 1, 2020, and presently caters to 20 students. Students would have been tested at the beginning of the academic year, and based on the results of the testing, they would have diagnosed that these students would have needed some additional attention, that they were not at the same pace as their peers, and so they would have been withdrawn and placed in this special unit. In the unit, there are actually 2 trained teachers as well as 2 teaching assistants, and they provide the necessary intervention to ensure that these children are able now to maximize their full potential. You asked also about the QEC model, and just to say that this is a model that has been in operation since 2016. However, it had to be relaunched because it was somewhat dormant for a while. It speaks about the quality education circle, where schools are basically grouped based on their geography and based also on the political constituency within which they exist. And so in Region 1, as I said in the video, we were actually the first to relaunch the Quality Education Circle model. And this model allows education officers to supervise their schools, because it's a matter of getting all the stakeholders involved in the schools to ensure that quality education is provided to the children. And so within each quality education circle, the schools share best practices, they collaborate, they share ideas, they celebrate, and they help each other. And so the aim then is to ensure that all the schools are on the same level. And so you don't have a case where you have what is considered a good school or what is considered a bad school. The aim is to ensure that all schools are on the same level. So the education officers work along with the management of the school and other stakeholders to ensure that quality education is provided to all children. And as our mantra states, Region 1, the epitome of excellence.
Yay! You know why I love that? You know what? Which one of my favorite SDG goals?
Yes, I know.
Guess what is my favorite? Sustainable Development Goal. Goal number what? 4?
4, yes.
Quality education. And I love what Region 1 is doing. Kudos to you, Region 1.
Absolutely.
And keep up the good work. Thank you so much for just being amazing. The epitome of excellence.
Can't compete, but I think we have some other persons now. Mrs. Sharon Smith, Smith White, who will speak on Vauxhall High School's construction project.
Oh, okay. Good morning, everyone.
Hi.
Good morning, colleagues. Yes. Before I touch on Vauxhall though, because I've seen the video, I wanted also to allow you to know, the audience to know, those who are listening to know, that we have various flagship initiative in Region 1. That's why we are called the Region of Excellence. A major one presently, before I even touch on Vauxhall, a major one presently is robotics in Region 1. Robotics, Jamaica College stands out, journeying since 2009. They stepped on the international scene as the first Caribbean school to enter the world premier robotic competition, setting the stage for other schools to start to continue and to enter in robotic competition. So, and we all know the main aim of robotics is to inspire creative minds to build work-efficient robots to assist humans in their work and how they play. So JC, Jamaica College, they won 14 international awards and advanced to 4 world championships. Isn't that just great?
Excellent.
Isn't that just great? So now in partnership with Ministry of Education since 2017, 20 robotic kits have been acquired for 20 high school teams. And if you journey with me some more, that has spread out to other schools, for example, and yet in Region 1, we still keep the banner of excellence. For example, now, other schools have come in the competitions, but recently, Dunoon emerged as 3rd, Immaculate emerged 2nd, and most recently, in the school year 2019-2020, we had Calabar was the most recent winner in the 2024 Inspiration and Recognition in Science and Technology. And CBAR, if CBAR would have heard themselves now, CBAR is doing #1. And they should have, and here's the other thing, CBAR should have gone on, if you had won in Jamaica of all the 30 schools that entered. They won and they were looking forward to now to go to the international scene, to the national stage. They should have gone to Texas. But, you know, COVID sort of kept doing a little bit. But I'm sure they have big plans to continue. Not to mention, for sure, they are not only causing them go to Texas. They have now gone to, to other schools. For example, they've gone to Don Robin to share, to network, to share, and the enthusiasm. So these young students can pick up on it. And they're also going to, not only in Kingston, for sure they're going to CMU, but they have gone also to Freetown in Clarendon to inspire these young minds in robotics, because these students are so creative. So we can't forget the Immaculate. The Immaculate girls came in 2nd. Region of Excellence. And recently, Dunoon has held their 3rd, emerging now as a strong 3rd outstanding school, the most outstanding school now in Region 1 in robotics. And I'm sure, looking forward to see it will do beyond COVID, and they are planning big things beyond COVID. So just to touch on Vauxhall as I end, you know, they had a very difficult year. They lost a teacher, but as you will see in the video, they are emerging from the dust, you know, they are emerging from the ashes, and they're using football to propel themselves to another level. And you see that young girl on top of the building, it wasn't a boy, you know, it was a girl. Doing construction. So they're moving forward. They're moving forward. And tomorrow, not to mention, tomorrow also, they're going to be awarded top school, the only school in Region 1 to be awarded for the outstanding achievement in the Jamaica Stock Exchange. And tomorrow, I'm sure there'll be on media and so on. So again, Region 1 is moving on. Several more things we could have said to you, you know, not to mention Tivoli Gardens with their, with a great initiative in reading. When you come to Tivoli Gardens, as you enter Tivoli Gardens as a student, you are tested. And when they are tested, those teachers provide the other teachers with what the assessment was, so they can plan accordingly. And what they do to that reading teacher and that reading area, they would now teach those teachers how to teach the children reading across the content area through the vocabulary used in that content area, and they will have their word wall, their word tree, I'm moving on from there, and they will move on to book competitions. And they don't call that thing a book competition. They call it book tasting competition, where if they're on a theme, say that they have books out, and they invite the parents to buy these books, because the children, the culture they don't have a culture of reading. So they should taste their taste buds. So when they buy a book, if the theme is maybe on the seashore, so they have things on the fish and bami, and as they buy the book, they read something and they go and taste the food. So taste a little bit of fish, a little bit of something around that theme. Exciting. So many things happening in Region 1, and it would take a long while to tell you. But again, Region 1, the excellent area, the epitome of excellence. Thank you.
Ooh, that is excellent. Before we finish with Region 1 and move on, I have to talk about robotics. And you know why? We are both Region 1 students, yes? We're in university now, but we were from schools that are in Region 1. I have to talk about Calabar, Dunoon, as well as Jamaica College, because I personally have friends who are a part of the robotics team for those schools, so I know the work that they put into the competition. I was at the First Tech Challenge at JC, the competition that they had, I think last year or so. But I know the work that they put into it, and I know that as young people, they're really passionate about robotics and technology on a whole, so we have to pick up the Region 1 school for that, and the Region 1 regional office.
Yes.
So if, before we let you go though, Mrs. White, if we need someone to talk to from the regional office, who do we talk to?
Or you contact, go to the regional director, and you can contact any of us. Mrs. Kennedy, you go through her, and you can contact any of us.
Thank you so much for that, Mrs. White. Thank you to the Region 1 team as well, the epitome of excellence. We enjoyed hearing and seeing a very, innovative region indeed. And as we go on now, we are just going to move on to Region 2, because we would have talked about what we loved about Region 1 already, and I think it's time to give Region 2 a chance, somewhere.
For real, you need to see what they are coming with, and they can top the epitome of excellence at Region 1 and at Region.
Is anyone from Region 1 still on the Zoom?
Yes.
Hi. So we know we're taking a break, but I just wanted to ask about the community blackboard.
Okay.
Yeah, do you have any information about that? Because I thought it was really innovative, and it seems really cool.
Okay, I can talk a bit about it. It's Union Gardens Infant School, a teacher from that school. She recognized that there were many children in the community of Union Gardens and the neighboring communities that were not logging on. They were not getting anything through the virtual platforms, because many of them, because it's a lower income community, many of them, they have no gadgets, or there's no internet connectivity. And so this teacher devised the community blackboard, where she painted sections of walls black and would write information on the blackboards for the students. Not just the students of Union Gardens Infant, because there were other children who benefited too. So each day they would post class assignments. They would also be there. The community members would chip in to be there, to be there with the students, to guide them, to collect the work. The teacher would mark the work and give it back to the students. So it was quite innovative, particularly during the time of the pandemic, because as you know, with the closure of the schools, many of our children were placed in a disadvantageous position, in the sense that they were not connecting to the virtual platforms. So this is something that this teacher must be commended for. And what we found happening too was that it was copied in many other communities as well, because they recognized that there were children just out in the road, boys playing football, and the students, just idling because they could not connect. They didn't have the device, or there was no connectivity. And so these community blackboards were erected throughout a lot of the inner city communities and some of our rural communities as well, that were plagued with these issues. And you found that the students became quite engaged, and this was how they were able now to be active in their own teaching and learning experience.
Mm-hmm.
Like here. because it's just amazing.
And just to,
Yes, it is. It is truly remarkable. And the fact that other communities were able to copy it, you know, this was something that we really endorsed. What we found happening too was that even the police were getting involved because they saw that so many of the students were on the road. So, you know, a lot of the police youth clubs, they got involved. They started to package assignments for students. Wow. So the students now, of course, observing the COVID-19 protocols, would go to the schools or to the community to collect these printed materials, educational materials. They will do their assignments and return, and these will be given to the teachers who will mark them and give the students feedback. So it was just Region 1's way of combating many of the issues that we faced with the COVID-19 and the fact that school was physically closed, and we had to find ways of ensuring that the children were engaged. We really have to commend our teachers, our principals, because they responded in such a way that made us so proud, because we recognize that, we really have to invest in our children's education. Whatever challenges they are, we have to find solutions. Rather than sitting back and blaming the system, we found solutions to overcome these challenges, and most importantly, to ensure that our children are engaged and that our children are maximizing their full potential.
Oh my gosh, this is amazing.
Hear it.
Actually, like COVID-19 really hit everybody, but I think Region 1 is saying we're going to hit back harder. And that doesn't solution-oriented Region 1 became, because for me personally, I know actually you might say the same sentiment. The face-to-face class was everything for me. And when it stopped, I was like, oh my gosh. And I can't imagine how many students would probably share the same sentiment. But here, a teacher said, look here, we see the problem. We're going to find a great way to still keep safe, or we're going to ensure that your education is not compromised. And I think Region 1 deserves gold stars. Those teachers deserve gold stars. I think everybody just deserves gold stars because we understand the value of education and we're not going to compromise it. So very, very good job, Region 1. Let me just up there.
Thank you
for that.
So I could share another initiative with you online.
Sure. Go right ahead.
Sure. Until they're ready. So I wanted to share with you and our listeners on this platform that we have on Region 1, 2, we have a very important initiative. COVID has given rise to creative opportunities for learning, as Susan had said. So right now in Region 1, we have the City Kids Homeschool Cluster. We have one in Southside. We have next Tivoli and Waterhouse. This is how it works. So the Homeschool Cluster is a creative opportunity that we are using now. It's funded by the Canadian Fund, City Kids Homeschool Cluster Project. I was at the recent opening last 2 weeks ago. We have students, so it's like a backyard of a home, and the children, parents, and a teacher would run it. And it's funded by the Canadian Embassy. That you're not given, laptops and so on to assist them with their reading, and we are assisting.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much for waiting patiently. Now, we had heard from Region 1. We took a little skip through, but now we're going over to Region 4. And I'm going to take myself out of the way because I think I want the experts to speak on this one for me. And now we're going to invite Dr. Michelle Pinnock to really tell us about Region 4, introduce the team, tell us what's happening over there, and just really take it away. So over to you now, Dr. Pinnock.
Good afternoon, everyone. I greet you well and welcome you to our first virtual FIT Forum. We, the innovators of Region 4, continue to engage our stakeholders as we organize education in Jamaica land we love. I am sure that through this interaction, you will garner innovations that can be adopted and adapted throughout the entire educational system. Region 4 serves 164 public and 76 registered private schools in the parishes of St. James, Hanover, and Westmoreland. Here in the region of innovators, we have 11 active quality education circles through which we train our principals, teachers, and our parents, through which we serve our students by sharing our best practices. The region serves 25 public secondary schools, 10 infant, 128 primary, and 1 special education school with 3 campuses in each of our 3 parishes. As the region of innovators, we believe in collaboration, and so the sharing of best practices within and among our schools is commonplace. Seated in this Zoom room are a few of my education officers. My senior education officers, Mrs. Lucetta Adams, Mrs. Patricia Horton, and Mr. Everett Riley. My hardworking and noble education officers, Mrs. Tiffany Grant-Smith, who will be our moderator, Miss Judith Moore, who is acting as our community education officer, or CREO, Mr. Dale Bedasi, Mr. Warren Brown, Mrs. Jacqueline Brown, and Mr. Perry. As Regional Director, I cherish the love, support, and commitment of my dedicated education officers, committed board chairs and members, hardworking principals, and of course, our competent and creative teachers as we collaborate to serve our students. As a region of innovators, Region 4, even before COVID-19 was elevated to a pandemic, began our discussions on how this virus could impact education in the West. We agreed as a region that the response had to be holistic, catering to the needs of all stakeholders. And so we developed our COVID response around 4 pillars: nutritional, psychosocial, teaching and learning, infrastructure, and professional development and welfare of our teachers and administrators. So I proudly put it to you, in Region 4, we, the innovators, are committed to uplifting our education, uplifting our Jamaican people through education. And so, while we grapple with the challenges, undaunted, we commit to finding solutions. Today, in this forum, we will showcase our innovations in teaching across the region with emphasis on our partnerships. Filled with desires, hopes, and dreams, we press on as we recommit to uplifting our people through education. Stakeholders all, this session will be stimulating, informative, engaging, and productive. And so I ask that you now turn your attention to our regional presentation that highlights a few of our accomplishments. Blessings from Region 4.
so much for that, Dr. Pinnock. Now, I don't know if it's me, Tamoy, but first thing that caught my attention was special education.
Yeah, I saw that.
I just love inclusivity overall,
Right.
and I am glad that this is now the second region that we've seen that is incorporating this into all the strategies and what they're doing,
Right.
during this COVID period, and I like that.
Yeah, that too. It shows that that there's obviously a need for it, and that we've taken the bold step to include it and to do something about it, because we value quality education, not just for the other things, but for those students with special needs and disabilities. So I really do look at step 2 Aishifa. I also noticed the agricultural program that Region 4 seems to be very proud of. I wanted to ask you, Dr. Pinnock, if you could just inform us a little bit more about the school projects, the gardens that I was seeing in the video, just to let us have an understanding from on your end, what's that like, how the students get involved, and just to kind of give us a rundown of agriculture, education, and everything that happens in Region 4 on that end.
Okay. Well, agriculture in Western Jamaica is very, very important to us, because of course we must eat, and of course farmers, that's how most of our families actually earn a living. And so in Region 4, we did have a problem with attendance and punctuality, and we found that a number of our students were really hungry. And so what our schools did was that they initiated their school gardens, and from their school gardens, they would actually now produce products that they would be using in their canteens. And so we used the gardening as a teaching tool. So students were able to learn about planting. So for example, for math, for example, we would now know how far to plant each seed, so we'll be actually calculating distance, etc. We used it also to get persons to understand about measurement. Used it in the social studies to talk about different careers, and we use it to help with nutrition as it relates to preparing a balanced meal. Through the UNICEF program as well, we did a project whereby we were able to motivate our parents to actually rear chickens, for example, and they would sell these chickens to our schools, and so those families would actually earn an income. So as it relates to agriculture, we're finding that it is more than a teaching tool in Region 4. We participate in RADA programs each year, and we participate in our 4-H competitions. And I must say that Region 4, we top most of the prizes. So we have Hopewell High, for example.
Okay, so I think that Dr. Pinnock's Wi-Fi probably went off right there. And so, we have to keep it moving, and we understand with the whole connectivity issue with COVID-19, we understand. So we'll just continue.
Yes.
We hope we'll get Dr. Pinnock back in a short while. But while we're doing that, we will just continue. And so we can move to Region 2, right? So do we have Miss Brim on the Zoom?
Thank you.
Hi, good afternoon, Miss Brim. How are you doing?
Good afternoon, I'm fine, thank you.
Okay, so thank you so much for joining us on the Zoom. We definitely love this session already, and so we're definitely interested in hearing what Region 2 has been doing, So I'm going to ask you to introduce your team, and tell us about your region. Dr. Pinnock, we see that you're back on. You know, we understand what is the problem with the connectivity issue, but we have decided to go along. And so now we're speaking to Ms. Brim from Region 2. Thank you. Ms. Brim, you can go ahead.
Okay, good afternoon. I don't see my team members.
Some of us are here, Ms. Brim.
Okay, good afternoon, everyone. Should I proceed?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Okay, thank you. Good afternoon. So my name is Janet Brim, and I am the Regional Director for the Region 2 office. And with me are my team members, Senior Education Officers, Mrs. Blackwood Grant, Mrs. Claudette Henry Harris, Reverend Patricia Salmon, and Education Officer, Mr. Drisdale. So, Region 2 is a very rugged and mountainous terrain that spans the parishes of St. Thomas, Portland, and St. Mary. It consists of 164 public schools, 21 independent schools. We have a student population of approximately 46,000 and roughly 2,800 teachers. So we pride ourselves as the region of care. And as the region of care, we are fueled through commitment, accountability, resilience, and efficiency. We have a team of well-trained education officers and administrative staff. We have dedicated school leaders who are always amenable to support and coaching. We have dedicated teachers who are committed to the development of their students and their academic achievements. We have students who are excited about learning and they continue to excel in the traditional and the technical and vocational areas. We have supportive parents as well. So that is the group that really comprise Region 2. Now, as we go through the presentation today, you will definitely see the element of care and our core values of commitment, accountability, resilience, and efficiency, which will be manifested and will be closely aligned to the ministry's strategic objectives, and they are also aligned to some of the sustainable development goals like quality education, reducing inequality, as well as the well-being of individuals and partnerships. So partnerships is very important to us in Region 2. Thank you.
I will be sharing my screen. As mentioned, we are fueled by commitment, accountability, resilience, and efficiency. The Region 2 office is located in Paisley Gardens, Portland, and we serve the parishes of St. Mary, Portland, and St. Thomas. We are the region of care, and we seek to exemplify commitment, accountability, resilience, and efficiency in all that we do. Commitment: our team is committed to ensuring that every child is given an opportunity to maximize his or her potential. Focus on special education. Based on 2011 Child Find data, we have the region. We have established 14 special ed units in primary schools, Through partnership with the Giselle Foundation, we have established a special education high school licensed center of excellence. We'll have a presentation at this time. Licensed Center of Excellence, they have entered the JCDC Festival, and here they are competing in the festival. At Licensed Center of Excellence, we have a student, Kirk Wind, who participated in the Paralympics recently and did exceptionally well, where he won a silver medal. Here is Kirk Wind at school. At Licensed Center of Excellence, the classes are designed so that children are taught skills. And so the curriculum is a technical vocational based curriculum. And here the teacher is in a visual arts class. We also find that there are talented students among the students attending the school. And here we have a student who is painting a mural. The Licensed Center of Excellence School have entered the JCDC competition, and here they have entered the art competition, and they had a display at the Jamaica Conference Center, and here's a student standing beside her artwork. And they were awarded, all the participants. The school has displayed a number of products that the students have made at a recent expo that we had before COVID. And this is the first batch that was presented from the school graduating class. The success continues. Here we have Lejonie from Bremervale High, who was successful in passing that number of CXC subjects, and she really expressed her appreciation for the type of love she received that was demonstrated by the school. At Carronall High School, we also have students with special needs, as we have been inclusive, and he has excelled in the CXC subjects as well. And here we see where he's at school. Technical vocational subjects are subjects that we embrace, as is encouraged by the ministry, that each school should be, have students being entered for tech work subject. The students with special needs have made these items on display. Now, as a region of care, we ensure that we do not just speak, but we put our words in action. And here, the guidance team, they're preparing packages to be distributed to teen mothers that will be reintegrated in school. And then they engage the teen mothers in empowerment sessions. We believe in accountability. We hold ourselves and our stakeholders to the highest possible standards at all times. School support during COVID-19. Schools were supported by WhatsApp group, which was used for supervision as well as providing support. We had virtual meetings for principals and teachers to share and support each other. We had virtual classes, learning kit distribution to homes, modems for remote schools, courtesy of JTC. Most schools engage students in virtual classes, many by using electronic devices, and the classes were held chiefly on these devices. We provided psychosocial support during this pandemic. It is a requirement, and here we have a presenter. We encourage our parents as important stakeholders to become actively involved in the lives of their children and to participate in Parent-Teachers Association activities. And here we are rewarding parents who have been very faithful to the cause. Resilience. We're undaunted by challenges and embrace them as an opportunity to innovate. While we were having virtual school, there were some persons who were doing practical activities, and you might ask how that was done. So instructions were sent and students did their work and returned pictures to their teachers. We are affected by natural disasters. Scenes like these are common in Region 2, yet our staff and stakeholders continue to champion the cause of educating our students in spite of the challenges. And this took place recently in St. Thomas, where a bridge was washed away. Yet we find that principal had gone to school to make arrangement for classes and was actually marooned until a temporary bridge was put in place. At Seafort, we had a fire last year, just when it was leading up to the CSEC examination for visual arts. Their art and craft room was destroyed by fire. But being resilient, the principal worked night and day along with his team to ensure that the room was ready for the students. A temporary room was ready for students to do their exams in. And here is a refurbished room. The Ministry of Education was involved integrally in ensuring that it was restored in the shortest possible time. And the media who had reported the fire also reported the successes. Efficiency. We seek to use all available resources as efficiently as possible to maximize output and impact. Re-engineering closed schools. 3 high schools established second campuses using campuses from schools that were closed. Rosebank Primary repurposed as special education school, and that is going to be open shortly. Pear Tree River Primary repurposed as a second campus for Licensed Center of Excellence, and that is being refurbished. The Rosebank Center of Excellence, as was mentioned before, is a primary school that was closed, and we are now it has now been refurbished, and this is a picture that was taken before the refurbishing began. It is now refurbished, courtesy of Digicel, our partner. It is ready to welcome students, brightly colored, and the environment is right for learning. Pear Tree River Primary School, which was closed, is being repurposed to accommodate the second campus for Licensed Center of Excellence. And this is before the refurbishing began. It is partially finished. During the pandemic, schools found creative ways of engaging students and ensuring that they were taken care of. And on Children's Day, Hillside Primary School hosted a drive-through Children's Day treat. So they prepared meals and little tokens, and they put them in their cars and got ready to distribute. So they drove down from the hill and they went into the community, and the gesture was well received by both parents and the students who were treated. The Seaside Parent Teachers Association on Teachers' Day, they also had a drive-through, but this time it was to treat the teachers. So they gave tokens to the teachers. The teachers were very grateful. And they were surprised because they didn't know it was going to take place. Windsor Primary School, along with a few others, had drive-through graduations. They found a way to engage students even though physical school was closed. So they At Licensed School of Excellence, students learn life skills. And here we have a student who is practicing. Shirley Castle Primary School found a creative way to present their graduates. They used a cartoon and infused pictures in the cartoon.
They're all depending on me. I must leave the only home I've ever known and brave the dangers of the forest, leaving them before they're eaten. I mean, how hard can that be?
Agriculture science is taught traditionally on the farm, but some teachers found creative ways to engage students in agriculture. Poetry is also used to teach agriculture. We encourage junior achievement in our schools where students are learning entrepreneurship, and we recognize that that's going to be helping to take our country forward as persons create their own businesses. We encourage our schools also to be actively involved in art, and here we have Tichy High School displaying some of their artwork. Seaford High School is known for talent in the area of visual arts. They have won several awards in CSEC at the regional level as well as the national level. And here we have a student presenting a portrait of Miss Brim. Career Day is very important. on our calendar. And this is just a caption from Seaside Primary School, a display that was done on Career Day. We are the region of care, reaching IRA, fueled by commitment, accountability, resilience, and efficiency.
Okay.
Thank you for participating.
Thank you so much, Region 2, the Region of Care. We really appreciate it. I really love the video, Aishiba. I think, one, the emphasis on special needs and education again, the partnerships that you have been making, but more so how you've managed to integrate art, music, and all the creative elements to push students to unlock and tap into their educational potential and just let them soar. And it's really amazing because education is more than just a regular classroom setting. Right. It's about applying knowledge and skills and using other areas. And I think Region 2 really made me feel warm and fuzzy inside, really the Region of Care, because of your emphasis on the holistic development so much of students. So thank you so much. I just have one quick question. If you want to get into contact with somebody at the office, how do we go about doing that? Who do we talk to? Just let us know how we can get in contact with the Region of Care.
So, as displayed on the screen earlier, we have different contact numbers. We have email address. So persons who want to reach us at the office can contact us at 993-572-425. And as the regional director, my contact number that persons try to get me on is 876-564-7168. And we all have our email addresses available for contact.
Okay, thank you so much, Ms. Brim. Thank you so much, the Region of Care. So we heard from the epitome of excellence. We came over to Region 4 where the agriculture is their bread and butter. We come now to beautiful, beautiful Portland, St. Mary and St. Thomas, Region of Care. And now, Aishiba, who else do we have on the register?
So before we actually move on, we have to go back to Region 4 so that we can be able to watch the video that they have prepared for us. Can't wait. So we'll be playing the video now.
Let us hear it for the innovators. Innovation is our mantra and innovating our game. Welcome one and all. This afternoon, we are taking a virtual trip to Region 4, the land of the innovators. Fasten your seatbelts. You can place your virtual glasses on to protect your eyes from the glare. Notepads out, pens ready, and we are off. In our region, absolutely no child is left behind. Even if we have to get on a bike taxi and take learning materials to our children, that is what we do. In the Region of Innovators, we believe that math counts and literacy matters. We are a people of great ideologies and initiatives. Locked down, but surely not out. Education has opened new dominions, new doors during this unprecedented time. Our curriculum came virtually alive. We are the manufacturing hub for refurbishing and creating our own furniture. Need advice on engineering and tech work? Then the place to be is Region 4. We produce from a pin to an anchor. Professional development has taken a new level from wellness sponge sessions to curriculum-based sessions. We are the region of supporters, supporting everyone in the education sector. We innovate for the cause of education.
by Tyler Barrett, grade 2N, Maths Count. Today it is not about language arts or about integrated studies. It is all about maths. My favorite, Maths Count, we add sub.
My name is Oshina Davis and I'm from grade 6S and this is my jingle about why maths is important. Maths. You know how important is that? It helps the mind to relax, to think analytically. So
you're feeling a maths man. Go with it. Maths, yeah, maths.
Everyone has their own story. Through them, we share our triumphs, our pains, and our legacies. The experiences we've gained along our journey are the foundations of those stories. We are the Herbert Morrison Engineering Club, and this is the beginning of our story.
Good afternoon, Jamaica. I am Kadian Crombie Murray, your teacher of social studies for today. Today's lesson will come from the unit Government. Most schools would normally cover this unit in grade 9 or 10. However, grade 11 students will find it useful for revision purposes. Our topic for today is Introduction to Government.
With us today is a king with a big heart. We can describe him as a man of all seasons. This extraordinary educator during the period of school closure went above and beyond the call of duty to promote quality education. Let us welcome Mr. Caron King, Principal, Little Bay Primary and Infant School, and innovator.
All right, good afternoon. Thank you for having me. Appreciate. So I want to thank, first of all, the Ministry of Education and our own Region 4 office who have been doing an excellent job during this period of COVID. First of all, I must say that the Region 4 has extremely committed staff from the regional director, the team of supporters with our education officers, made it easier for all of us within the region, all the schools. So we're extremely appreciative for the support. As it relates to, for us as a school, Little Bay, with the partnership of our Region 4, we look at several measures that we could have used to help to ameliorate the situation that would have faced during COVID. Before COVID though, we would have put certain things in place in terms of setting up a virtual platform. So we would have had our own EduFocal platform launch, and I must emphasize that this EduFocal initiative was emphasized and brought to our attention during our principals conference that was spearheaded by our regional director and her team. And as a result of that, the school administration decided that we were going to go ahead and set this initiative up. So after COVID, we recognized that we could capitalize on this, use this. However, we realized that that wouldn't work enough because some of our students who live in difficult areas where the terrain is extremely difficult in terms of transportation and distance and internet connection. So I would have decided that the best means to use is use the bike taxis, which is the culture of our community. So we embark on using bike taxis to reach students that normal transportation wouldn't be able to reach, and it worked. What we did as a staff, we pull out our data sheet, we ensure that all the students were accounted for, and the students without internet connection would have reached. I must also emphasize that we didn't just reach the students from our own school, but we also ensure that students were from other schools, whether it be primary schools or high schools. We would have coordinated our worksheets for these students, and these are printed from the regional office with the support of our education officers. Knutsford Express came on board, and then they make it a lot more easier for us. Even as I speak now, our teachers are here, and we're actually printing papers. Mr. Blissy, I want to just pass me the sheets, some of the papers that we just printed a while ago. So they're right there. So we're still here as we speak, printing papers, and these are just examples of papers that we're just printing and putting together to be distributed to the community via bike taxis. So this is something that we have been doing. We partner with the police station. So the police station is on board, and we set up distribution point so
God's
that the parents.
Blessings on you and your school family.
Okay, thanks.
Yes, I want you to see the joy with her. Okay. You're connected.
At Jubilant Principal, the moment she connected
That's it from Vision 4, the land of the innovators. Thank you for watching.
Thank you so much for that, Region 4, land of the innovators. Love to see it, love to see it, love to see it. You know, I was telling someone while I was watching this video, one of the parts that I really love was the aspect of social media that you use. She's laughing. Look here, I'm a communication student, so I love when I see things like this. I love when the regions are adapting to the time now. Thank you so much for that presentation, the land of the innovators. And so as we move from Region 4, we're going on along the way, and now we're welcoming Region 5. So we're now welcoming Dr. Leachman. Are you here on the Zoom, sir? Ma'am, my apologies. Are you here, ma'am?
Everybody knows that Bravo a champion.
Throw it up there.
Doctor, are you on the Zoom with us?
Right. Okay, I'm there now because I wasn't able to unmute, but they have given me the option, right? So,
okay.
Right, so the champion is here. Here comes the champions from Region 5.
Love to see it.
And we serve the parishes of Manchester and St. Elizabeth. And so with me are some of the members of my team. This region, we have a number of departments, the HR, the accounts, the community relations, guidance and counseling, safety and security, building. However, we just have a small number of our staff members with us. We have 2 senior education officers, and that's Mrs. Nevadine Gallimore Miller and Miss Coral Ray, who are representing. We also have 2 other education officers, Mr. King and Miss Shaw Gooden, representing the other members of the team. And I must apologize for our community relations officer, who is responsible for this production, but she's unavoidably absent. And so I believe that we have joining us is one of our partners in education, as well as one of our esteemed principals, for whom we are going to be speaking to a little bit later. So, to our moderators, Miss Cornwall and Miss Campbell, Region 5, the region of champions, is fueled by TRACT, C-R-A-C-T. So, we have tolerance, we have respect, we have accountability, we have commitment, and we display transparency. And so that's what we are fueled by, and that's what makes us the champion. Our theme today is partnership in education. And we did that because we can't do without our partners, and you would have heard our colleagues before mentioning that. It's so very critical to how we operate. And so our partners love education because it is outcome driven. And so it's, it's a two-way thing. So they benefit and we benefit even more so from our partners. And so it's very gratifying and satisfying. So we really would not feel good to be sharing about Region 5 today and not zeroing on partnership. But given the limited time we have, we are putting a focus on 3 of our partners today. So you will hear some more about them in the clip as we try to showcase education in general in the visual space. And this is so because we have a direct impact. These 3 partnerships we're going to talk about, they have direct impact on or priority policies. And literacy, for example, which you know is so very important, the NSC curriculum, we've zeroed in on that. We look at integrative teaching and how that, you know, impacts PEP and the whole critical thinking. These are some of the things that are going to be coming out of our presentation today, ladies. So I'm going to ask you to relax and just look at the video we're going to be sharing with you for the next few minutes and learn how the champions partner with our partners in order to provide for the development of our students, because that's what it's all about. At the end of this, we'll take your questions. So we'll just ask Alison to share with you at this time.
I believe we can make our impact in the community when we can harness the talents and gifts that human beings possess, create partnerships, and deliver a product that will create a change that is sustainable. My name is Pat Rowe. I am the founder of Literacy is a Family Experience known as LIFE. LIFE's mission is to create a model of engagement for parents or guardians, whom we call family educational partners, to improve the literacy of students reading below grade level. LIFE's model was conceived out of my struggles as a child to learn by rote. 3 influential people changed the educational trajectory of my life. My father, who was a committed champion for education, a priest who provided a portion of the support, and a dedicated teacher. With their help, my struggles, pain, and hardship became my passion and purpose. In 2014-15, LIFE formed its first partnership with the primary and basic schools in a compound in St. Elizabeth, the birthplace of my father. Today, 5 years later, because of the leadership and dedication to students and families of Dr. Nadine Leachman, who was introduced to us by Ms. Shaw Gooden, and LIFE's board of directors, LIFE has expanded its literacy enhancing programs to an additional 6 primary schools, 3 infant departments, and 2 basic schools in the rural communities of St. Elizabeth, including Burnground, Eldersley, Magotty, Marywood, Pepper, Retirement, and Whitehall.
have to have math because you do the number. And when you put it in, you have to say what number that is. That's enough? Okay, coming back. They're ready.
Welcome to the Manchester Parish Library Primary Exit Profile, or PEP, Language Arts Center. Hi, I am Michelle Barnes-Peter, Senior Librarian at the Manchester Parish Library. Our PEP Center started as an initiative between the Manchester Parish Library Network and the Ministry of Education, Region 5 Literacy Team. The PEP Center was established to assist the students from the grade 4 to grade 6 level. We wanted to assist them in doing research so that they can develop their research skills and their analytical skills. In the PEP Center, we have several sections. We have our math section that focuses on the 5E lesson, example, and they explore, explain theory and values. We also have charts and technique of what to get together helps them to explore as they calculate and learn. Here we have the fraction section in the form of a game. So while they're having fun, they are actually learning. And we also have the language section. And one of our member of staff, Mr. Andrew Beresford, he is going to elaborate further about these areas.
Hello, welcome to our language and literacy section of our PEP Corner. So language and literacy is the area that the library is strongest in, and basically we focus on helping or providing supplementary materials to parents, teachers, and students who are getting ready to help their children to prepare for the primary exit profile examinations. So we start off with grade 4, and some of the categories or areas that we focus on that we have books on are the senses, landscape, culture, the water cycle, the weather, and we have various models here where we go further in depth into providing accurate details about our weather systems and our various cycles and natural patterns that we have going on in the environment. We move on to grade 5, where we talk about topics such as forces and machines, the environment, nutrition, Jamaica, its history and governance. And we further want to all the topics that have to do with science, digestive system, the human body, the process of living things. Jamaica is energy and Peter and forms of energy. So we try to go in depth of capturing various aspects of the Jamaican culture and all its areas. So we have various charts that go further in detail about various parts of the human body, like human parts, and we also provide study tips in the Pep Corner to help students to aid them in studying, and we also have a brochure where we talk about the teaching practices and shift classroom practice to look for, and this was provided by the Ministry of Youth and Information. And we also have mathematical tips, practices, and students should look for when they're practicing mathematics. And the whole aim of the Pep Corner, or theme that we stand behind, is play, learn, and grow together.
So, teachers and students, come on over and make every use of our PEP Center at the Manchester Parish Library. Remember now, you can utilize as many of our books and you can borrow books for home reading, but you must become a registered member of the library, which is free of cost and a very simple process. So come along and enjoy our PEP Center at the Manchester Parish Library as we transform lives and empower communities.
Right. So that's our video showing our 3 partners. Showing our 3 partners in action. And so if we are able to hear, if we're able to hear our principal from Leeds, she is willing to speak to her project for 2 minutes. I know she had a little problem earlier, but if she's on, would you be kind enough to come through, Ms. Dawkins? All right. Doesn't seem as if we're getting Ms. Dawkins, but you would have seen the Region of Champions sharing on the partnership, 3 partnership projects. And so we are open now to your questions.
All right, thank you so much, Dr. Leachman. The video was very long and comprehensive, so we don't really have as many questions.
Right.
But comment to say that we really want to big up the Region of Champions for the work that they have been doing, especially when it comes on to parent involvement, the resource centers, and how you're continuously pushing the students to excel and to tap into their potential. I think the Region of Champions deserve more than enough gold stars, and that you've been doing an amazing job. And I think one question we might ask, how do we get in contact with persons in your department? So I think that would be our one question. How do we get into contact with you?
Well, our ministry would have been very instrumental in ensuring that all our stakeholders have our numbers. So as regional directors, our numbers our cell numbers are all over the place, but I'll repeat it. 425-5505 is the number that they can get the regional director on. Or community relations officer offers the community service, and so her number is 402-6509, and there's another one, 325-1978. Any other education officer, senior education officers, they are in touch with their constituents, and that includes not just the principals that they serve directly, but our parents through the various medium that we share with them. So they are very familiar in how they can get to us, but based on what I shared early on, that's what we have been sharing with them.
Okay, thank you so much, Region of Champions. So thank you so much, everyone, for tuning in for so long with us. And Aishiba, we heard from innovators, we heard from the Land of Innovators, Region of Champions, we heard from the Epitome of Excellence. Right. Now we're going to zoom over to what Region 6 has to bring to the table. Yes. And instead of what Region 6 has to tell us, so we're going to go over to know Mrs. Forbes Hall. If you're on the call, it's now your time to shine and to really tell us about what Region 6 has to offer.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Good afternoon to you all. Yes, I am here. In fact, we are here. The Region 6 team is here, and we're happy to at least have an association with this activity. It is indeed our pleasure, and we're having a lot of fun. So I serve as the Director of Regional Education Services for Region 6, as you would have so rightly introduced. And this afternoon, I'm accompanied by 4 of our esteemed management team members. Today, we have Mrs. Stephanie Webb Parker, and she is our Senior Officer with responsibility for guidance and counseling. We have Mr. Floyd Kelly, of course, another of our Senior Education Officers, and of course, our newest Senior Education Officer on the block, Mrs. Fiona Morris Webb. We credit Mrs. Karine Reed Clark, our Community Relations Education Officer, who is, of course, an important member on this senior management team and would have influenced our participation in this afternoon's activity. So the Region 6 office is located in Old Harbour, St. Catherine. For those persons who do not know, just to indicate to you that we made history on June 1 of 2020 when the region split, making it St. Catherine for Region 6 and Clarendon for Region 7. So we are, of course, now smaller in size, and we provide educational services to a total of 123 public schools, making that 5 infant schools, 92 primary schools, 23 secondary, 1 special needs institution, and of course 2 tertiary level institutions. We have a strong and competent staff here at the Old Harbour Regional Office, and our staff is willing and always ready to meet the needs of all our constituents. Region 6 prides itself on maintaining the highest standards. We strongly believe in customer service, and we prioritize the needs of all our Region 6 family, to include our principals, our teachers, our parents, our office staff, of course, and our partners. Today, we want to highlight our achievements. We're in fact blessed with extraordinary teachers who use the performing arts to impact the teaching and learning process. And we are so happy to share with you some of our regional achievements. Today we celebrate with Enid Bennett High School. Enid Bennett High School received the Best Band Award in 2017, and they made the region extremely proud when they did. We're also celebrating with Old Harbor High School. Old Harbor High School walked away with first place in the All Together Sing competition in 2018. Our schools have repeatedly performed well in the national finals of the JCDC Festival competition. So I ask you, ladies and gentlemen, to help me to recognize the outstanding performance of St. Jago High, Jose Marti Technical High School, Belmont Park High School, and Charlemont High School. All our students also do exceptionally well at CAPE, and they do well at CSEC in the performing arts. Point to note is we're celebrating today St. Jago High School that offers examinations and support to students in the areas of dance, music, and theater arts. We credit them for their outstanding performance in CAPE and CSEC. So ladies and gentlemen, the video presentation that is showcased today is developed courtesy of Cumberland High School, Brayton Primary and Infant, St. Jago High, Jose Marti Technical High School.
The Ministry of Education Region 6, located in Marley Acres, Old Harbor. We're always here to serve you in whatever your educational needs are. You may reach us at 922-1400 extension 4800. Feel free to call and to visit at our Marley Acres, St. Catherine premises.
Week after week, this choir continues to prove just how much they're here to win. Let's see if they'll give another winning performance, representing St. Catherine and taking the stage with one called Nobody's Business. Here is the big bad Old Harbor High School.
Nobody's business, business, nobody's business, business, nobody's business.
Hello everyone. I am Miss Crystal Cole, drama teacher from the Visual and Performing Arts Department of the dynamic Jose Marti Technical High School and a proud representative of the resilient Region 6. Now, I'm sure you all can agree with me when I say that this pandemic has been teaching us a few valuable lessons. One such lesson is the importance of the integration of the performing arts in our school's curriculum. Now more than ever, teachers are being forced to stimulate and sustain the interest of our students using the current teaching and learning modalities. Can you imagine an online classroom without the integration of creativity? And for today's lesson, I cringe at the thought. Drama is essential in addressing the different learning styles, interests, and ability of our students, which is a challenge using this current platform. Now more than ever, teachers are utilizing videos, music, song, and dance to engage their students. A dramatic technique that can be integrated in teaching and learning is improvisation. With improvisation, students can be able to make their own scenarios and make the connections between the lessons and real-life situations. In times like these, when we're thrown in situations that we did not plan for, we have to choose to either sink or swim. I would rather swim. And the integration of the performing arts and drama is one of the most useful ways to meet the challenges that we are currently facing. Thank you.
Hi everyone, my name is Miss Shanika Gibbs, teacher of dance at the Cumberland High School, Region 6. Now at Region 6, we place a lot of emphasis on the performing arts. After all, the performing arts is us, a part of us, within us, all around us. Now, as I always tell my students, dance specifically heals, reveals, and teaches. I use a Google platform to post theory work. I am a stickler for theory work. I feel like in anything, whether practical or not, there needs to be a balance because you need to have something to fall back on. How was I going to help these students prepare for their exams? How am I going to help these students get the real essence of what dance is?
Music gonna teach them a lesson.
Greetings, my name is Marlon Henry. I'm a teacher of geography at the San Diego High School, which is in Region 6. Now, Bob Marley said those words many years ago, but I believe it still holds true. I believe that music can be the vessel that drives your class or drives education, that it can bring the students from unfamiliar into the familiar. Music is like a natural part. It's a part of something that we are born with. We can't help but to be musical. Listen to our heartbeat. Well, maybe my one is beating a little faster than yours. Matter of fact, if you don't believe me, matter of fact, enough talking from me. Let me try to show you some of the things that I try to use in my lessons. Some of the songs that even the students come up with. Let me show you some of them. Follow.
Especially when I feel sick. I feel so drained right now.
Hi everyone, my name is Nigel Powell. I'm a music educator, currently employed at the Charlemont High School for over 20 years. Music is a transformative element that impacts students cognitively, affectively, and practically. From experience, I've found that music has influenced students in the following ways. It promotes discipline, it promotes or builds on your listening skills, it improves your memory and builds their self-confidence. There was this young lady who I remember from grade 8, a couple of years ago. We were doing an ensemble presentation And I said to her, come on man, you have to sing up. And surprisingly, she started to cry. You know, having worked with her for maybe 3 years after, you know, tell her what to do, what not to do, you know, and show her to do certain things. She's now an educator herself.
We are Roma Community, and you are at the Charlemont High School.
We started off in 2017, and trust me, I would never guess, you know, to have been this successful, you know.
It's a perfect wonder.
I joined the band because music is my passion, and God gave me this gift to fulfill my desires. It has helped with finances and helped me build my character, my well-being, helped me to be brave while singing in front of an audience.
Music here was already established by Mr. Powell, who has been doing a pretty good job with the kids. So I came in and inherit some of the glory that was already here. It has affected them positively. I've seen some changes in quite a few of our band members.
I am Malika Sinclair Bailey, the principal of Rosemount Primary and Infant School in the Linstead area. I take this opportunity to talk about our region, Region 6, because it is one that is leading the charge of excellence. In the likes of our regional director, Mrs. Forbes Hall, who is very systematic and hardworking. We have many officers who stand by us so that we as principals can grow. In these trying times, that we can depend on to guide us through this process of teaching and learning and planning for our school.
Ladies and gentlemen, I sincerely hope that you had a great time with us.
Thank you
Yes,
so much for that, Mrs. Hall. Are you hearing us?
Yes, we are hearing you.
Awesome. I really appreciate what Region 6 is doing as it relates to the arts. You know, I have a few friends that go to some of those schools that was called St. Jago, Charlemont. Yes, and they're artsy people. And I just love that the way you do your teaching, it is integrated with the arts. And I think that is something special. I think as Jamaicans ourselves, we're just those artist set of people, and I'm glad that we're embracing that part of our culture and we're integrating it into our teaching and our learning. So, you know, I really do appreciate your presentation today, Mrs. Forbes Hall, and all the best to Region 6.
Thank you so much for having us, and thank you for your best wishes.
Thank you, you're most welcome. And so, you know, we're on to Region 7, Tamoy.
The new kids on the block, they're not really so new, we still know them, but they were split recently, and I wanted to hear from Region 7 what they're all about, because we heard from everybody else, 1, 2, Region 4, 5, and 6. So now we want to welcome the Regional Director, Mr. Barrington Richardson, who's going to tell us a little bit about Region 7 team. What is it that you do? What makes Region 7 buzz and have a flair and make them just, you know, better than everybody else? Well, or not.
You're man not just starting, you know.
So now we want to welcome you, Mr. Richardson. Are you online?
Yes, I am.
Hi, good afternoon. How are you doing?
Good afternoon. Thanks for having us.
You're most welcome.
Youngest, the newest region within the Ministry of Education, Youth and Information. We are only 5 years old, and we are grateful that we came out of Region 6, and we are here forging a path for ourselves. So we are Region 7, the region of purpose, positioned to serve. And with me on set, we have our senior education officers, we have our education officers and other team members that have been working assiduously to ensure that we live up to our mantra. The Region 7 production department would have produced a video for you just to walk you through Region 7 and some of our accomplishments to date. That team would have been led by Mr. Manley Wisdom, who is our technical coordinator for such a department. So, ladies and gentlemen, enjoy.
Welcome. Welcome. Welcome to the newest region of the Ministry of Education, Youth and Information.
I have the great privilege and honor of serving as team leader of a group with a unique opportunity to serve. We at Region 7 have been strategically set up to serve the public education system in the parish of Clarendon, providing greater accessibility and service excellence as we try to yield a more impactful presence. We have approached this opportunity realizing that we have a chance to initiate a new culture in the educational service delivery. We have been diligent as we work since our inception in June 2020 to create a brand Region 7. With our logo so designed and our mantra being the region of purpose positioned to serve. Our 7 maxims that guide our operations and interactions inside and outside. Not to mention our social media presence and of course our improved standards of service.
Hello everyone, I'm Patrice Pratt.
And I'm Claudia Spence. We are the Senior Education Officers
Responsible for school supervision in Region 7.
Hi, I am Kamala Suban, convener QEC 47B, which is Clarendon Northwestern. This QEC is comprised of 18 schools, 1 high and 17 primary, serving approximately 4,042 students and 374 staff members, academic and non-academic staff.
Greetings. This is Yvette Gillespie Lewis. I am the convener for QEC 47A.
which is housed in northwestern Clarendon. There are 5 primary schools, 5 high schools, and 1 community college in this QEC, serving approximately 7,800 students and 600 members of staff. Gracias.
Hello everyone, I am Kesha Shirley, convener for QEC 48, located in the cool hills of northern Clarendon. QEC 48 comprises of 19 schools, 17 primary, 1 standalone infant and a secondary level institution. QEC 48 serves 3,200 students, supported by 245 staff members.
Hello, my name is Christopher Reynolds. I am convener for QEC 49, which is located in North Central Clarendon. In my QEC, there are 21 schools, 2 secondary schools, 18 primary level institutions, and 1 preparatory school. These schools serve approximately 6,400 students and staff in schools.
Hola, soy Errol Horn, convocador de QEC 50 y QEC 52. These QECs are made up of public and private schools in the parish of Clarendon. QEC 50 covers schools within central Clarendon, and the QEC 52 schools are located in southeastern Clarendon. We are schools that adhere to the Ministry of Education, Youth and Information standards, and we strive to ensure that every child can learn and every child must.
I am Raquel Ranger Cohen, convener for QEC number 51, that's Clarendon Southwestern. I humbly serve 2 infant schools, 13 primary schools, and 4 secondary schools, with a total of approximately 6,200 students and 560 staff members.
An analysis of 96 re-inspected schools in Region 7 by the National Education Inspectorate revealed that 50 schools have received improved inspection ratings for overall effectiveness since their baseline inspection. Special commendations to Knox College, the first school in Region 7 to receive the NEI's highest possible rating of exceptionally high. We congratulate all of our hard-working schools in Region 7.
It is Winston Churchill who once said, "Never let a good crisis go to waste." Certainly, we are in a crisis, COVID-19 pandemic. But we are thankful that we have committed school leaders, teachers, and students who continue to demonstrate that they are resilient, they are innovative, and they are indeed creative. Let me show you some snapshots of what they have been doing during this time of COVID-19.
Good morning, you awesome and committed teachers, dedicated and determined parents, and all you excited and lovely boys and girls of Kellis Primary School.
Superstars. Hello there, superstars. Welcome to Miss Willis Learning Studio. This academic year, I see it as a privilege to serve as your teacher of English. What do I enjoy doing? I enjoy motivating students so that I can get the very best out of them. So this year, I encourage you to give of your very best. If you try something and you fail, you are going to try and try and try again. Remember, birds don't just fly, they sometimes fall down, but they always get up. Nobody learns without getting it wrong. So what are you going to do this school year? You are going to try and try and try.
Denby High School is playing its part in the fight against COVID-19. Are you? As a school, we are in full support of the protocols recommended by the Ministry of Health and Wellness, as well as the Ministry of Education, Youth and Information in response to the COVID-19 pandemic. The protocols governing our campus are visibly displayed at the main entrance to the school.
Here at Beulah College, we have been managing distance teaching and learning using various methods and systems. We have been using the Google platform, Google Classrooms. We have also been using the WhatsApp group a lot. In this area of Jamaica, internet is a challenge, and so parents have really committed themselves to doing their best to providing the data, and also the teachers as well, so that we can be able to foster the distance teaching and learning. For those persons who unfortunately are not able to get online and to be a part of this, we would have provided written work for the students, and so the scripts would be sent out weekly. They would be returned to us, and then the teachers would collect and they would be marked. It has been going well.
Hello and how are you? Hello and how are you? Hello and how are you? How are you this morning?
My name is Azul McFarlane. Today I'm going to be telling you about my vision board. There are 5 sections to my vision board: success, strong, work hard, and success in life, and wealthy.
Good afternoon. My name is Jenny Barrett and I attend the Brixton Hill Primary and Infant School in the Cool Hills of Mokotari. And today I will be showing you how to submit your assignments through Google Classroom. So first you go into your classroom, and at the top of your page you will see classwork. And we'll click on that to view our assignment. Here's our assignment, and then we'll press view assignment. It will take you to the comments area, and you can sometimes make comments that can benefit your whole class, or you can privately comment to your teacher. So we'll go in our Word document. Here I've done a demonstration that I've already saved into my document. And we go back into our classroom and we press add or create, and then we press file. Then we press upload and browse. And here you can clearly see my assignments, and we'll press open. And there you go. It's that easy and it's that simple.
Nobody can go nowhere. Stand on your
your yard that the hashtag a trend, yeah. Remember fi wash your two hand them proper, yeah, hear me? Ready, listen and follow me then. Make us a roots, soap, water, wash, scrub, rinse it, flash it, finger, hand back, water, got it, hot, dry, napkin, germs then stop it. 99.9% of germs them gone. Have me sanitizer. Me hear a youth a talk about him no afraid that the virus, but I me a the wiser. Lockdown, sanitizer turn up. A board in the house, me see a tree, me a go run up. Cool in me chest, if me no coughing, I go come up. Can't cough too loud, that's the violence I go turn up. Lock your door, stay easy. You no hear me? Handshake, physical contact, scary. Too like symptoms, nobody come near me. Self-isolate, give me distance, clear me. 99.9% of germs them gone. Have me sanitizer. Me hear a youth a talk about him no afraid that the virus, but I me a the wiser. Lockdown, sanitizer turn up. A board in the
If a child lives with criticism, he learns to condemn. If a child lives
It is true that one is too small a number to achieve greatness. Our accomplishments as a region surely resides in the strength and resolve of our team, both at the regional office and at the school level. We commit as we forge forward as a region to supporting all our stakeholders to ensure that they achieve and maintain standards of excellence. We commit also to celebrate the work and brilliance of the team to ensure that we keep a team energized as we continue to fulfill the mandate of the Ministry of Education, Youth and Information.
We are Region 7, the region of purpose, positioned to serve.
So there you have it, a snapshot of Region 7.
Thank you so much for that amazing presentation, Mr. Richardson. What you said?
Most welcome.
Region 7, the region of purpose. Well, I know when I done it, position to serve. Love to see it. I have one question for you, Mr. Richardson.
Sure.
I see all that you're doing with Region 7 and all the other teachers, but I want to know, how do you ensure that the interactive element as relates to teaching is still present? We know that it's going to be different from how it is in person or in the physical space, but how do you ensure that you keep that interaction up in online learning?
Okay, so this matter of interaction during online school, it's a very interesting space that we have to be fair to our teachers that they have been plunged into this new modality. And so whilst we have some teachers who are naturally interactive using this kind of platform, there are those that are struggling, there are those that are really trying, and we want to commend those teachers who have really risen to the occasion to ensure that they do their best. And so as a region, as a part of our shared responsibility, we have put in place initiatives that will help to scaffold, to support, to model online teaching across our schools. And so as of next week, we will be celebrating and acknowledging in our Zoom forum, where we will be acknowledging teachers who we have found that do it very well, and also to use them as a means of motivation to help others. We also have planned for our teachers a teacher empowerment session, specifically helping them how to use the online space as a schoolroom. And so we have presenters lined up who will walk them through in a very practical way to give them tips as to how they can use that space in a very interactive way. We also found that our special needs students, they might just be at a disadvantage on this space. And so we have planned tomorrow a session with the principals and the board chairs as to how we can come alongside them, model the way for their teachers to engage this group, this special group. And so, yes, it is ongoing. We continue to monitor, we continue to assess and use what we have found in the field to develop responsive programs to help all our stakeholders. Our parents are not to be left behind because they too are frustrated. They want to help, but they just don't know how to help. And so we have a program just for our parents that we will help them to navigate from step 1 to step 10 as to how to help their children get on the Google Classroom, how to maneuver the learning management system, and just to empower them with the skills just to help their children to access education provided by the Ministry of Education. And so we are thinking about all our stakeholders. As we have said, we are the region of purpose. We are positioned to serve, and might I say, all our stakeholders.
Okay. Thank you so much for that, Mr.
Most welcome.
Thank you for answering our question. Thank you for the wonderful presentation.
Absolutely. It was very, very good.
I think what I love about this session is how passionate each of these individuals are. Passionate about learning and passionate about just helping young people, in the education sector. And I love that. I appreciate it. I appreciate you as teachers, because you're a really important part of our lives as students. And we really want to say thank you to all our teachers.
Would you allow me to add, please?
Sure.
Because we are the newest region, we want to ensure that all our stakeholders, they are aware of our location and how we can be reached. And so we are located at 42 Longbridge Avenue, Maypen, that is in the parish of Clarendon. And we are located on the property of the Hotel Versailles. We can be reached at the number 436-8449. Let me do that again. That is 436-8449. And we also can be reached by Region 7 at moeygov.jm.
Thank you so much, Mr. Richardson. And so that is the end of this Zoom link. We still have Region 3, right, to get to. I want to thank every person on this Zoom meeting today. Thank you for showing up and showing out. Thank you for being so passionate about what you do. Really appreciate you as teachers. Really appreciate you as teachers, and kudos to you on what you have accomplished so far. Can't wait to see what you'll accomplish in the future. Have any last words, Samoy?
Well, one, I'd like to say, please look in the chat because we send the new Zoom link so you can still stay on and be connected for our next sessions. But also, I also want to reiterate Aishiba's sentiment of the onslaught of appreciative gratitude to our teachers, our stakeholders, the persons who make teaching and learning fun and engaging, but also inclusive. Aishiba, I think through this entire session, almost every region stemmed on ensuring that quality education was for all students, even those with disabilities and special needs, and it shows the forward-thinking nature and the progression of how it is that we're looking at education and how we incorporate arts, STEM, and we're moving past the traditional blackboard setting to give students an opportunity to just maximize on their potential and just be awesome. So thank you for being awesome. Thank you for staying tuned with us. I think it was lovely for us being your moderators, and we're going to still be your moderators for the next session because it's in the Zoom link, it's in the Zoom chat. So click on the link, guys, and let's just get going for the next session. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for joining us. My name is Samoy Campbell, and this is my lovely co-host, Aishiba Cornwall. Now, we ended just a while ago with the region of purpose. That was Region 7. And now we've heard from everybody else, but we need to hear from Region 3. So I'm going to invite Region 3, Mrs. Campbell Miller, to really tell us about what Region 3 has been doing, your plans, and how is it that you're doing your best to really capture the innovative spirit of education and just being awesome. So Mrs. Campbell Miller, if you're online, I want to just give this virtual stage to you and let you do your thing and tell us all about Region 3.
Good afternoon, everyone. Region 3 covers St. Anne and Trelawney. We serve 120 schools, 19 high schools, 92 primary schools, 7 standalone infant schools, 2 special education schools, and additionally, we have 2 tertiary level institutions that we offer support to. There are 6 QECs, which are QECs 23 right up to 28. The region is supported by 6 units: our school supervision team, our guidance unit, our student support, accounts, and our personnel and building teams. Representing the region of Trailblazers today, with me are my Senior Education Officer, Mr. Fabian Wainwright, our Community Relations Education Officer, Mr. Delroy Williams, and our 2 of our education officers, Mrs. Parr Shirley and Dr. Carol DeCasio. We serve approximately 2,000 academic staff and over 42,000 students in this trailblazing region. What is trailblazing about us is that Region 3, according to the National Education Inspectorate report, indicates that over 80% of our schools in the second round of inspections would have been rated as satisfactory, showing an increase in improved performance by over 27% from our baseline data. Important to note is that 14 out of the 17 high schools that would have been inspected are rated as satisfactory or good. Our support to our schools include focused supervision in relation to all disciplines, particularly in literacy, English, mathematics, and our technical vocational offerings at all school levels. Region 3 leading up to PEP was averaging over 60% in the core subjects and trending upwards in mathematics and English between 42 to 79%. Our strength as a region is based on the pillars of effective school governance with our annual board trainings, focused school supervision with our monthly meetings with our school leaders, clinical instructional supervision, organized learning communities for capacity building sessions, student leadership, stakeholder partnership, and the scaffolding of our team members who need support. Student support is critical for us as we ensure access to education and inclusivity through our guidance and counseling unit, our student support offered through our regional special needs coordinator, and our clinical and educational psychologists. We use our school improvement plan, our NEI reports, our key performance indicators, our action plans, and our performance data to drive school improvement in this trailblazing region. The buzzwords for Region 3 are systems and standards, accountability and responsibility, target-driven and data-oriented, and of course, quality assurance. We invite you now to pay attention as we highlight Region 3, the region of trailblazers.
Despite the COVID-19 pandemic, the region launched the literacy video presentation competition under the theme, "How does COVID-19 affect my learning in literacy?" Here's an entry from the Beechertown Primary.
Was looking positive. Steps were being taken to advance our education with PEP in full gear and a number of other learning infrastructure that were about to take off. But most of all, the National Spelling Bee that I was to take part in. All the studies, all the hard work and sacrifice I put in, all seems to be for nothing since COVID-19. Since this wasn't easy and another route of schooling had to be found, so we turned to online learning, and though the teachers did their best, our ability to adapt to change was truly put to the test. I was taught to learn in a particular way, to use the environment, communicate and socialize with friends. Now that COVID has taken all this away, anxiety, fears and depression came, even though my mom and dad tried to make me happy every day. This took a toll on my studies and I've not been doing great. For most parts, I've been lost. Others I just did not comprehend. Sure, my parents tried to help, but they are not teachers. I'm sure you understand. So how have COVID-19 affect my literacy? Simple, it derailed my learning. And now I'm left struggling to adapt to a new way of education.
The region of trailblazers. Our logo speaks to the region's ability to accomplish deliverables with accuracy and speed. It portrays a scholar running with a torch at an expeditious pace, depicting the speedometer as illustrated. Only a true champion can run with a lit torch, and that is why Region 3 is indeed the region of trailblazers. Ladies and gentlemen, as we go through, we recognize that some trailblazing moments include that the QEC has been used as a supervisory model since 2011. The region hosts annual capacity building session for boards of management, principals and vice principals, senior teachers and deans of discipline. We ensure access to education with the opening of 4 new schools, 3 infant departments, 3 infant schools and 1 secondary level institution. There is the eradication of the shift system, which we supported at Albertown High School, and Exchange All Age. There is a launch of the Region 3 Secondary School Leaders Association. And we have an annual partnership with the Jamaica Gasoline Retailers Association as a quiz competition. Is Trelawney and St. Anne. Ladies and gentlemen, to highlight that we are simply the best. We and would have been recognized as education officers. We're actually the guidance and counseling program. Our schools, Stairtown Primary and Junior High, capped the first place for career poster competition. And we would have enjoyed trailblazing performances in the development and implementation of a comprehensive guidance and counseling program at Holland High School and Perthtown Academy. 100% of our teenage mothers would have been reintegrated and are being supported by our regional educational social workers through the empowerment sessions held with pregnant teenagers and, of course, their significant members of their household. We've had annual stakeholder conferences held at the QEC level, annual CSEC camps for our students to ensure that they are prepared to sit their examinations. We have annual bursars and administrative staff retreats to ensure efficiency and effectiveness in our operations. We're proud of Camp CCC for Parents, which focused on choice, change, and chance. Our participants were children and their parents who benefited from the psychosocial camp. They were actually featured on A Ray of Hope. Albertown High School was our trailblazing school as a part of the Jamaica's UNICEF platform, SWP-based framework. We were trailblazers in sports through our Usain Bolt, our Dion Hemmings, our Michael Frater, and of course, our Veronica Campbell-Brown. The region also initiated the Northern Championship. We are the region of trailblazers.
As a trailblazing region, Region 3 embraced the school improvement framework. This framework was implemented over the past academic year, and we saw 3 schools participating: Bamboo Primary, Danieltown Primary, and Mushet High School. Coming out of the school improvement framework, we embarked on a research project entitled Leadership for Learning, holding middle managers accountable. Data from this research would have been used to inform several initiatives. The findings include continued professional development for our middle leaders, continued implementation of initiatives such as self-monitoring and periodic reporting to the senior management team. Also coming from this research pointed to the fact that we need to hold subject teachers accountable for the targets that are given to them. This region is target-driven, target-focused, and uses data to inform intervention and to inform planning.
We now have a snippet of a new Discovery High, which branded themselves as the STEM Academy. Watch the egret soar. In summation, the region of trailblazers liken ourselves to the Jamaican hummingbird, which is colloquially known as the honeybud.
Again, Region 3, I really enjoyed your video, and I took a few notes, you know, because I wanted to ask a few questions. I know Tamoy has her own questions, but I saw specifically in your video where I saw a picture of a few students and it said Jamaica Moves Initiative, right? So I'm guessing that school participated in the Jamaica Moves in School initiative. What I want to know is that, seeing that we're no longer in that physical space at school where we can observe the 5-minute breaks in school and do any activities in school, I want to know if that is still incorporated, even with the students being at home and being online. Do you still do that?
Thank you for that. Yes, definitely. One of the things we would have indicated is that as a region, we have schools supervised through our quality education circles. Now, we have teams for each QEC who are responsible for the learning kits, assisting with the monitoring of the lesson plans, etc. Now, what has happened is that incorporated into the timetable is breaks in between the lessons, so that students can actually get up from where they are and move around. We actually have teachers who mimic with them over on the virtual space and show them, do the jumping jacks, tell them to get up and stretch a little bit, those sort of a thing. So we do try to incorporate the physical activity in the midst of carrying out the disciplines.
I really love that. Do you have any questions for
I do. Mrs. Kamamila, the thing that really stood out to me was your culture exchange program. I really wanted to know, one, where that idea came from, and if you have any plans to still continue it, but in a virtual space. I wanted to really hear about that because I was super excited when I saw it.
Excellent. We have two particular schools who would have reached out through their past, well, one through their past student association and one through their marketing thrust. So we're talking about York Castle High School and we're talking about Discover Bay High School. And incidentally, both schools are actually on the Twinning in Schools program. So they're actually twin to each other. Now, they would have reached out through their past students to pretty much schools across the United States of America who would be interested in doing this kind of a cultural exchange. One of the schools would have indicated, and so they would have sent down a team just late last year to meet with the students and the staff at Discover Bay, interact with them, and they would have had a grand time looking at their culture as well as the Jamaican culture, infusing that in terms of what teaching is like in their culture versus teaching in our Jamaican culture, as well as we would have exposed them to the Jamaican cuisine. You know, nobody could come to Jamaica without us exposing them to the Jamaican cuisine. So that kind of a cultural exchange took place. And so they actually even visited the regional office to talk about the administrative aspect of things. They have school districts and they wanted to see how we operate as a regional office, how we monitor school in terms of our QECs and lighten those to their school districts in the United States. So that is actually how the partnership came about. And it continues really, because even though we are locked down under the pandemic, because of the virtual space, they can actually continue the discourse, continue the communication, use the Zoom platform to still interact with the students across the two schools. So it is that kind of an initiative, and it continues even now as we go through the pandemic.
Oh, amazing.
Amazing. You know, Region 3 is a big deal. And we really appreciate you coming on, Mrs. Miller, to just share with us what your region has been doing. We really do appreciate it. And as we said before, as students ourselves, as youth leaders ourselves, we understand what teachers have to go through. And with COVID-19 now, it's not an easy task. And we understand. We appreciate that you continue to push and you continue to just be there for your students and to give your 100%. We really do appreciate it. Thank you so much for meeting with us today.
Thank you so much. And the region of Trailblazers continue to soar.
Love to hear it. Well, come on.
We did it. We did it. We went through the entire day. We met all of the regions virtually. And Aishiba, what was like your takeaway moment? Like, what did you really love about today?
All right, let me tell you. First of all, I love the passion with all of the teachers. They were so passionate about what they're doing. What I love as well is that because of COVID-19, you know, the teachers, the educational officers, they didn't allow that to stop the progress as it relates to education in terms of reaching their students. You see where some teachers themselves went to the students to give them the stuff if they're having connectivity issues. And I really appreciate that drive. I just love that as a nation, as a country, we are just able to continue.
Right.
Amidst COVID-19, we're able to continue, especially in such an important sector like the education sector. How about you?
I honestly agree. I keep saying that no matter how COVID hits us, we must keep back harder. I think the education ministry overall today really showed us that, hey, despite the challenges, we're going to keep going, we're going to keep pushing. For me, it was just really the different approaches that a lot of these educational officers took in reshaping and defining learning. So it wasn't just writing on the board, giving you tests, but it was cultural immersion programs. it was arts, it was robotics, it was the emphasis on special needs and ensuring that they too were never left behind. And it kind of gives me this warm, fuzzy feeling inside and confidence that the future is in really good hands.
Right.
That our students going forward, my classmates and those who will be coming up will benefit from something because we have persons in the Ministry of Education who are forward-thinking, progressive. They're thinking outside of the box.
Innovation.
And they're just, innovation at its best. Yeah, I just really love it. So today was just awesome because everybody was awesome. My educational officers were passionate and everybody realized that this is the big goal and we're going to coalesce all our resources and push forward to be bigger, better, and just be fresh and innovative. So that was my kind of wow moment for today.
So as we come to the end, you know, we went through all 7 regions. And so we're going to remind our viewers of the amazing 7 regions that the Ministry of Education has.
Yes.
So you ready?
Ready, yeah.
We have Region 1, the epitome of excellence.
But then how can you forget our Region 2, Region of Care?
Okay, but hold up. You have Region 3, the region of trailblazers.
But then our farm in Westmoreland, Region 4, comes out as the land of innovators.
Come on, well, I know you have Region 5, isn't it? And what them be? Region of champions.
But then the multiplicity of Region 6, the region of arts, the region of science, region of performing arts, I mean, them buzzy real bad. And finally,
last but certainly not least, we have Region 7, region of purpose. Position to serve. Permission to serve. Position to serve.
We don't even do that one again. Come.
Ready. Region 7, region of purpose, position to service.
Hi, Shiva. Region 7, you might hold up the Beatles because we keep messing it up, but it's a region of
amazing,
purpose.
right? Region of purpose. Thank you so much to everyone who tuned in. If you're watching on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, ensure that you utilize the chat button. Or educational officers, we're here to answer your messages, so don't be afraid to give us your feedback and give us your questions. It was amazing being your moderators for today. I am Aishiba Cornwall.
And I'm Tamai Campbell.
And we're signing out.
Bye.